Joe, Penn State and SMU are keys to victory. How do you see Penn State, and what does Penn State need to do to beat the SMU? I was going to say
Mustangs.
Ponies, but it's the Mustangs.
You said about Texas that they need to be themselves. That applies for Penn State, but to be more specific, grind them down, run the football. It's a strength for a lot of these teams, but it's the biggest strength for Penn State, especially coming into this matchup. SMU has a good D-line. Their D-line is what they lean on. They can't bail if suddenly they're seeing friction and they're being slowed down running the football on the first drive. Just because if maybe you theoretically kick a field goal or you punt on that first drive and you're not getting your usual pop from Singleton and Katron Allen and Tyler Warren, does not mean you should get away from it. Stick to your guns, know what works well. The way that you were able to climb back against Oregon was by running the ball and being creative with running the ball. Andy Kotelnicki is going to find ways to get the ball to these guys in space the way that he always does. Playing their identity is just the truest part. It's going to take a couple of quarters, but the bodies on their O-line and their running backs are going to grind them down eventually, and they're going to start to produce big plays.
You say be yourself, but then I look at SMU secondary being 91st in the country in passing yards allowed, and I say, Joe, I don't know if I don't go out there and I start slinging that thing.
Fair point.
I mean, I go out there and I'd sling that thing if I'm being honest. I replicate whatever you called against Oregon. Do it again. Do it again. I mean, that secondary has been beat like a mule in the middle of strawberry season, okay? He's been beaten to a horse. Every team that has success on SMU, if Clemson can do it, you can do it, I promise you. I go out there and I'd say, Tyler Warren, you're getting 10 targets in the first half. I throw the ball religiously. I throw the ball 25 times in the first half. I swear to God I would, because, Joe, they can't stop a bloody nose with a tampon in the secondary. It's that bad. Joe, and not only is it that bad, it's that bad, and they played a very pedestrian ACC schedule.
Right.
Very pedestrian.
Right. I mean, like the best receiving matchup that they saw was in the ACC championship game. Louisville. No, probably Louisville.
Probably Louisville.
They gave up some big plays against Louisville.
It might be Clemson. No, it's Louisville.
Probably Louisville. Yeah, I would say Louisville over Clemson.
Yeah, you're right. That's my point. Joe, that's my point, though, man. It's legitimately my point. I mean, I agree with you. Line up, run the football. But if there's two, like, I would trust that SMU's front seven can get after in the running game more than the secondary can stop them throwing the football. I mean, we saw him do it against Phil Maffa. I know he's banged up, and it's kind of shitty to say, but there comes a part where I'm like, hey, man, Joe, I promise you, Kotelnicki, let's get innovative here. Let's start throwing this rock around, baby. They're that bad. They are that bad.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.